I'm John Bryant. I represent Dallas in the Texas House of Representatives. It is entirely fitting that the faith community should gather on the steps of the Capitol on the first day of the 89th session of the legislature in order that we might not be about the business of imposing our individual faiths on other people, but instead about the business of living out our faith in the presence of other people and in the service to other people. Our shared faiths in every one of the traditions represented here is that we are made in the image of God, that we are made of the substance of God, and we are here by the will of God. And that will is that every human being should flourish, and that you and I should be focused on our ability to serve every human being that they may flourish. And so in a state that has the highest rate of uninsured people in the United States, where people live in fear of a health crisis, our job is to address that by beginning to accept Medicaid funding from the federal government so that more people can be insured and not live in fear of a health crisis. Our job is to make sure that we change the law so that women are not in fear of pregnancy, and women in a pregnancy crisis can obtain the health care that they need from a doctor who knows what they need, and they're not left on the steps of the hospital literally in fear of their lives. And finally, in a state that is 44th in the nation in its commitment to public education, the ability to flourish depends on our ability to put Texas at the top of the list, not at the bottom, with regard to educating the next generation of Texans. What does that have to do with faith? We cannot be in the presence of God if we are constantly in the presence of fear. And our objective, those of us who are prosperous enough and empowered enough to make other people's lives better, our objective must be to enact these measures that can make their lives a little better, can allow them to love one another and have the time to raise their children and live in prosperity and to flourish, as every faith tradition calls upon us to try to help them do. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your faith tradition, and thank you for the inspiration of seeing how all of us who live in a faith community can come together at a time in which our voices and our prayers are most needed. Thank you.